Where do I bloody begin with the absolute nonsense which has happened over this weekend of pre-orders? Again, we're back on this road. We're talking about the same old absolute mess up by Games Workshop, which was supposed to be stopped, by the way, with this brand new website with the queue system. But it seems the queue system is more or less working in benefit for the actual scalpers rather than us, the fans, of getting our materials. I do apologize because this video is going to be kind of a rant. So, you know, if it's one of them videos where it's like kind of me just going on and on and on, you don't want to watch that, leave now because that's what it's going to be. But I think we have to keep talking about this issue because if we stop talking about it, then nothing's going to get done. And I'm hoping that GW watch this video, which I don't think they will watch, but I'm going to tag them over on Twitter and stuff like that to try and get their attention on how big of an issue, how big of a thing this is, because genuine fans are missing out on their products, and it's going to scalpers that are right now who are posting about how well they're doing. They're literally laughing in our face saying, look how many I've got. You've got nothing. The only way to get this is go on eBay and pay these extraordinary, extortionate prices. So yeah, let's jump in. Let's go through it all and let's talk about it. Now, just for a quick summary for people who are jumping in, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. This weekend was the pre-order date for the last book, the Collector Series, a limited edition book for End of the Death Part 3. It's the last in the Siege of Terra series. It's the last book in the Horus Heresy. This is it now. We've reached the end. Maybe they'll do a novella here and there to tie some ends up, but this is the last big novel of this series. And what normally happens when there's a limited edition book coming out for the Siege of Terra series is that there's a lot of want for this book. But this weekend had to have been one of the worst weekends I've personally ever experienced, I've personally ever seen. As someone who's been in this race from the start, who's got every single book, this weekend takes the crown because literally it was gone within seconds, and it's all down to the scalpers. The scalpers are using this bot system that goes in, buys the books in mass quantities, like, one order per person, and then what they do is just bang it on eBay for quadruple the price. Like, if you go on eBay now, I'll get an image and put it up there. You can look at all the listings. Like, some of these listings have like 5 to plus books in their inventory, and they're all selling from 300, 500 plus pounds. I was like on the Australian site, an Australian book was selling for like $1,000 Runios and stuff like that. It's just absolutely bloody insane what has happened in this market now of limited GW products. Now, what has happened to try and combat the scalpers is that GW have launched a brand new website. I'm not going to go down that road and talk about the website because there's a lot of problems with that, but there was a new queue system introduced, and even on the article, I'm going to put the image in the background right now so we can read it together. They state, an awesome collector's piece and the crown jewel of any Siege of Terra collection, with each of 2,500 copies signed by the author and individually numbered. A queue system will be in place on Warhammer.com to ensure fairness. This system has been turned against me and you because it works now in the scalpers' favor, because what they do, they add a bunch of bots into the queue and they go in before us. I know for a fact that Australia sold out within like 2 minutes because I was live at the time. I stayed up late last night. We did a big, massive, well, not last night. It technically was early Saturday morning, but it was, I started Friday and then went into the early hours of early Saturday morning, and the Australia site completely sold out. We were in chat looking at it, watching as it happened. It was just an absolute madness. Now, apparently, we've learned that there's one individual who actually went on the Australia site, apparently, and has bought up the full collection of all the Australian copies. This individual apparently has been boasting about this on Twitter, saying, hey, look, I'll try and get some of the evidence and put it in the background now. Look at all the copies I've ordered. Literally laughing at people saying, this is what I've got. I've got a bot. I've got everything, and you've got nothing, which, again, is absolutely... You have to laugh at it, to be fair with you, because if you don't, you're just going to end up crying. Like, GW, this is a massive problem. Surely you can go into your internal servers and look at this, right, and think to yourselves, okay, this is not right. This one individual has just literally bought all the books from this certain buyer's point. No, that's not right. Let's go back, let's issue refunds, and let's put it back on for people who actually want this product. Are GW going to do that? Are they going to look into that? I really, really hope so. But deep down, I just don't think GW care. As long as that product is gone from their inventory, do they care? Do they care who it goes to? How many copies goes to a certain individual? Hopefully they do, but something deep down inside of me just really thinks that they just don't give a toss. And the same story happened with the EU, with the UK. I do know some friends who managed to get theirs, but the majority of people I've been speaking to who've been collecting these from day one, absolutely no chance. There was huge problems with the queue systems. Some people logging on at like 1:45 when the queue actually happened. They were about to get on the website. Then all of a sudden the queue knocked them back like 10 to 15 minutes. So when they eventually got on the site, just nothing was there. And again, it's all down to the bots. This is the massive problem now. What's happened is that there's this botting community or this scalping community know that these books or certain aspects of the Warhammer selling point, and I think this is going to happen with the Dark Angel box, apparently, which is going to be, well, if you're watching this video right now, I'm recording it on a Sunday, and apparently that's going to be announced tonight, which is going to go on pre-order on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And I think we're going to have a massive problem with this Dark Angel box set as well, because this is going to be limited edition, and the scalpers know this. So they know when to come in for certain products to actually hit us all with. And it's a massive problem now that Games Workshop need to fix. I don't know how they're going to fix it, but they need to invest some money into trying combating this problem. Again, I don't know how they're going to fix it. I've heard people saying, let's report the actual like lots over on eBay and stuff like that, because apparently that is in the TOS that you can't actually put something on eBay unless you actually physically have that product on there. Yeah, you can do that, but I don't think eBay cares. I don't think all these big companies actually care about this. As long as they're getting money, they just turn a blind eye. I think it's really down to us as the community to really step in and say, right, don't buy from scalpers, you know, just avoid buying this stuff from scalpers as much as possible. But then it comes into the dilemma of me telling you how to spend your money. You've worked for that money. If you're willing to drop £500 on a book, I can't really argue against that, because that's something you've worked for. So it's such a hard thing to talk about. It's such a crappy thing to talk about, because again, at the end of the day, it's us, the fans. You know, the people who've been following this from the start, who are absolutely getting done over. I think the book lies with GW. I think it's them, this company, that need to do more. Like, I've seen people say, well, maybe only take pre-orders for limited edition books from actual GW shops. That is a great idea, but not everyone can physically go to a GW shop. There's not GW shops around everyone. Some people live in some massive rural areas. Why should they suffer and stuff like that? Like, mate, mine's in Manchester. I can go down to Manchester and stuff like that, but I have friends who just live in the middle of nowhere, so they lose out on things, and they're just as big, if not bigger fans than me. So yeah, there's a lot of ideas out there. I appreciate people coming up with ideas, but I really do think we have to just bring GW into this. It's them. They're the one who's selling it. They're the one whose website it's all going through, and I really think that they should start putting things in place. Again, I don't know what they can do. I'm not a website person, I'm not a digital person, you know, I can barely turn my computer on, right? That's as far as I go when I come to doing computer stuff. But really, I think this company, if it's betraying that it's working with the community as it does, community models and stuff like that, then really they should be on our side when it comes to this type of stuff. So I really, really, really hope that GW do get involved in here, start looking at all these bot posters on Twitter. You can do it right now. Go on Twitter and look at it, right? It's absolutely insane. Surely someone from the GW Warhammer community team can see this and report it to the higher echelons. Look at all these people. They're taking the mick out of our true fans. Let's try and sort this bloody thing out. But anyway, I'm sorry if this is just me ranting and going on with each other. I'm sorry this is a day late. I was going to do this the other day when it was all happening, but I was out for the football. I was out watching Man City and stuff like that. Absolute decimate Newcastle. De Bruyne, he's back. He's a god. So yeah, sorry this comes as a day late, but it's the same old story again. Same old story. We've more or less talked about this every single limited edition release because it always seems to be a problem like this, but now I feel it's got to such a point where it's just gone next level. Like, this is really, really serious now, Games Workshop. So please help us out. Help yourselves out, right? It's for us. We're working together, me and you. These people, the bots, they don't care about you, right? They just care about money. Please help us out. We are your community, and we're here to support you, and you should be here to support us as well. Right, enough waffling. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, do what you always do. Post them down below, and we can have a nice little chin wag down there, as we always do. See ya. Have a great day, and bye-bye.